because you change your delivery doesn't mean you've changed your calling, right? So let's not forget that, guys, because sometimes the door can close because you got something better. You're now equipped more to lead that next step. A lot of people, when they're like, what am I ask the question, they are basically pose the question like, what am I called to do? They don't really know, I think, often. I think sometimes though it will have something to do with some of your gifts. It doesn't mean your gifts, you even know your gifts though. Often you think it may not be your gift, you just haven't sharpened it enough. And so that, when I was in high school, I was terrified of public speaking, terrified of it. I had speech classes and stuff, and I would always try to go last. I had a low self-image. I didn't want to be teased, all those things. And then I went to college, and I remember having speech classes, and I was like, oh, more speech. At least by then I was nervous, but I felt like I could be for whatever reason, I would be myself. And then somewhere in there, I remember having a teacher for business class, and he'd asked me if I'd done any speaking before, and I said no. And he says his comments, this may not sound like a compliment, I took it as one. I think he meant it as one. And he said, you have a nice delivery. You have a very dry delivery or something like that. And I thought, But what he meant was a lot of people are very nervous and they rehearse what they're saying. Well, I used to always forget if I wrote everything out, I would forget it. And I didn't want to be the guy that read my speech. So I would write bullets, and I would only speak on things that I had knowledge of. So when we got to pick a topic, I would pick a topic that I enjoyed, and then I would research it further. So therefore, when I got up there and I forgot things, it came pretty easy. Well, basically he meant, hey, when you deliver things, it seems like you're just talking to the audience. I thought, oh, okay. So that was when I first started feeling good about speaking, like here in public areas. I do training a lot in public speaking and stuff like that. My calling, you asked, has always been to help men become better men. And and how do you find that? You pivot all the time, guys. So I started, I was going to church. I was kind of in my early, not mid-20s, I've been going to different churches, trying to find the one. I went to one, and then basically, long story short, I started doing some youth ministry. I thought, hey, my goal, and I knew this before, has been to help men become better leaders. But what if I could just start early, right? Teenagers, then they go into manhood as better leaders. And so I did that for 5 or 6 years. I eventually got out of it, realized that wasn't quite what I was looking for. Quite what I was called. Loved it, had a lot of fun, whatever. Did a lot of stupid stuff with kids and paint and throwing, youth groups. It's a blast. But then I realized though, that's not quite it. So you're always kind of pivoting and finding those little things, and it can change over time. It doesn't mean that just because you change your delivery doesn't mean you've changed your calling. Right? Let's not forget that, guys, because sometimes the door can close because you got something better. You're now equipped more to lead that next step.